Is JJK too predictable? Because as dark as it gets, at the end of the day, it's still just a cute little shonen, right? Let's talk about it. Right, so first of all, spoiler warning, if you're not caught up on the manga, I'm going to have to talk about some of those things to address this criticism, so you've been warned. And also, shout out to Jin for asking me this. Thank you so much for the continued support, man. And he basically wanted me to kind of give my rebuttal to this sentiment that JJK is predictable or that we know certain things are going to happen because it's a shonen. And some specific examples Jin listed were people saying that JJK has no stakes because Ui Ui is around just to teleport people away when they're in danger, or, the good guys are obviously going to win, or, Gege is going to be forced to bring Gojo back because he is a cash cow, and at the end of the day, like, it's about that and not about the actual story, implying that, Gege's hands are tied in order to, like, hit certain metrics or make certain things happen because it's shonen, right? So I disagree with this. I mean, obviously, on some level, it is a shonen manga, right? So certain tropes are just going to be present in the story. And I think that's true of JJK. But at the same time, it has gone just the complete opposite direction from some of the most standard tropes in shonen and in manga. And I think that's why JJK is as popular as it is, because it's a breath of fresh air. Compared to most things in its genre. And that's not to say that other things are more standard shonens are bad or anything. Like, I love a lot of them. But I, again, think this is why JJK is so popular. It's one of the darker shonens I can even remember. Like, not even in just recent memory, but like ever. I don't want to say it's the darkest, but like definitely up there. So yeah, I don't think this is true. And specifically on the Ui Ui thing, like, saying that removes all the stakes is just kind of ridiculous. I mean, we have people dropping left and right. And yeah, me personally, I think, somebody like Gojo is coming back, and even, Higuruma and Akotsu could also come back since we didn't see them fully get out of the way. But just because you have like a literal 7-year-old in here teleporting people doesn't remove all the stakes. It's just a really interesting story development, in my opinion. And we'll have to see what ultimately happens. If everyone comes back, then, I could see people being upset with that. But I don't think just Ui's presence and his role in this grand strategy against Sukuna that they've concocted means there's no stakes. I mean, JJK on the whole has people drop out all the time, right? But specifically in this final fight, if you're I just think the implication that Gege's hands are tied, or he is having to write like specific or meet specific like milestones in the story because he's in Weekly Shonen Jump, and they're like, hey, you can't do that. Like, bring in the 7-year-old. We got to get these characters out of here. You're not allowed to take them out. Like, I think that's ridiculous. Now, I again do think Gojo is coming back, but Jin makes the point that like Gojo is one of, if not the most popular characters in manga right now, right? So he's a cash cow in a way. Well, not in a way, he is, right? So could Shonen pressure Gege to bring Gojo back? And I don't think so. Like, I'm not saying that type of thing is out of the realm of possibility, but I think Gege has the story written and is following that. And I think with a manga as successful as JJK, I wouldn't think that they, are going to meddle in that. Maybe some mangas, sure, but I think when you reach a certain level, you kind of just let the person do what they want to do. And I know if Gojo comes back, I know some people are going to say that. They're going to say, like, they had to bring him back to boost up sales or something. But again, I think that's ridiculous. All right, let me rein it in before I yap myself off the side of a cliff. But one thing I want to say, kind of speaking to the other side of the aisle real quick, is in terms of JJK's ending, considering it is in the shonen, right? Like, obviously the good guys are going to win. I do agree with that like the forces of good will ultimately come out on top, but I have spoken about a potential bad ending, meaning just like the bad guys win, not a subpar ending. That I would be here for that, honestly. Like, if Sukuna won, or just, whatever shape that may take, but like the good guys lose ultimately. Because it is shonen, I don't really see that happening. So like, I don't know. But I also don't think that like Gege would have wanted an evil ending and then have been forced to not do that because of shonen. I just think that like that's the story Gege wanted to tell. But all that being said, I think even in the good ending, like, it could still be devastating. Like, I think Yuji most likely isn't going to make it out of this thing alive. So, the good guys may win, but kind of like at what cost type of thing. So anyways, just wanted to speak to that a little bit. And Jen, again, thank you so much for the question, and thank you guys for watching.